Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. We're going to do our uranium daily technical analysis update. Uranium is looking, it's tough to know. The charts are split. Some companies look good. Some look like they're trying to put in short-term bottoms. Others look like they're pulling back. It's kind of a basket case at the moment where we've got things giving us, stocks giving us signals that we want to go higher, stocks giving signals that we could potentially go lower. So we're at that kind of inflection point where the buyers are starting to equal the sellers. We're trying to find that balance and potentially bottom out here. It may take a little bit. It may take some gyrating up and down before we move up again. So patience is needed. This is a long-term game. This is like, it's people basically outpace. It's about who's the most patient and just buying shares when it's cheap and then holding on. That's really my game. That's what I've learned over my years of investing and looking at charts. Sure, you can ride some of these short-term movements, but the big moves, I think they're coming and they're ahead of us. So I'm just waiting. But let's get into the analysis. Again, this is just my financial opinion. Don't take it as advice, please. So here's the physical uranium price. 49.40 is what I'm reading. Maybe it's delayed a little bit. But again, we've had a massive move higher. It's just basically relaxing right now for the past couple of days. But it looks good. Looks good. URNM, we came on down. We popped higher. We've got a couple of down days here. Is this momentum going to continue? I think what we're going to do is we're going to kind of relax out a little bit. You can see the volumes coming down. Some people are still holding their shares. We have good support under here at 72.50, just below that, 71.50, wherever that's at. And I think we're just going to kind of relax and then form a pattern, maybe some sort of wedge pattern or something, and then launch from that. Camco is the same thing. We're finding support kind of around this previous high here. So we're finding it. That's why we have these small candlesticks. That's why we have the opening and closing prices the same. That's why our up and down days are pretty small. So it is finding support. We're starting to relax a little bit. Next Gen Energy is trying to do the same thing. I do think we could see some more selling pressure in here. So just don't be alarmed if we see this bounce around a little bit. But we do have some support back here coming across. Fission, I mean, that, if I look, that's a bullish engulfing pattern. You could see a short-term little pop here, but I don't know if it's going to be sustaining or if we're going to. Man, this is a tough one because this here is a pattern on a candlestick basis, a daily candlestick basis, saying that we want to go up. It's a bullish engulfing pattern where the opening and closing price engulfs the candlestick before it, the body. So that looks good. Sky Harbor, you could see that we had some downside pressure still. It came down, but the buyers bought it back up. So we could get a little bounce here. We could. And we're bouncing off this support line over here at 450, 475 in that range as we came down and kissed it a little bit. And same with this day. So we've got some support here. We could do a little bit of bouncing before we move on up, but it doesn't look too bad. And Standard Uranium, it's the same type of action. We're battling back and forth, down day, up day, down day, up day, and the momentum's real tight. The volume's dropping off, so I think we're starting to finally relax and find some balance. Canalaska, whenever I see these black candlesticks, I still think that we're going to come up and maybe have another couple down days. Like this thing's going to oscillate a little bit and just relax before moving up. Baseload, same thing. We're bouncing back and forth. We're trying to find a balance. This is a bearish engulfing, which means we could head a little bit lower. We are at support here, 60 cents. UEXCF's putting in a bullish engulfing. Usually what happens is you come in, you contract on your opening and closing prices. The body of the candlesticks, they're big here, and they contract down and get smaller. And then we put in a bullish engulfing, which usually means we want to go up. We might head higher in UEXCF. Bannerman has a reversal candlestick here. So we came down. The momentum carried us lower, but the buyers came in and bought it back up. That's a bullish piercing pattern. because we piercing the one before it, and we closed above the 50th percentile of this one, which means we could potentially head on higher. Deep yellow looks like we're contracting, and we're kind of relaxing, and the volatility's relaxing down, the volume's dropping off. We could see a move here where we could put in a bottoming pattern potentially. Support's right underneath it at 75 cents. Forces metals, it's the same thing. We're coming down and we're finding support here at this $95 level. So I think we could potentially turn at some point if the buyers step in. Goviax, very similar. We came down to about 30 cents, somewhere in here where we've got some support. So we came down to support, now we're just resting on support. You can see this thing kind of bounce up and then contracting down. The opening and closing prices are getting closer and closer together. We could move higher. Same with Global Atomic. Big down day, smaller down day, smaller up day, small. I mean, this is contracting where the buyers equal the sellers. We have lots of support in this region in here. And we're seeing that across the entire area by looking at this. This could sell off a little bit, kind of move up and down. We're getting the bounces. We're getting the wiggles. Because, I mean, we're at support at all these. We're back testing is what we're doing before we're giving the stock its old high, the last kiss before we leave it in the dust. Put it that way. That's what I think is happening. This is a reversal candlestick pattern where we could head higher. And we're kind of coming in, and you can see if you were to draw this in here, I'm just going to throw some stuff in here. You can kind of see this come down, and I'm going to draw this across. We've got that there. You can kind of see this thing forming here, where we're coming on down, we're contracting in the candlesticks, and we may hit down here one last day. Maybe we break out of this, but I think we're getting close where we're coming to a bottom, and then we could eventually pop higher. The volume's coming back down. We're kind of losing this momentum here. And all we need is the buyers to step in and punch it. Give it some throttle. And we can see that across everything. We're coming to support. We kind of broke out, we broke back down, and we're coming to support, relaxing a little bit before we can move higher. Denison Mines, same thing. I mean, guys, this is, it doesn't look horrible. Looks like the majority of the selling and buying is somewhere in this range right there. And you can see that we came down and tagged it, and we got nice support. The volume's tapering down. This is a reversal hammer. This is a hammer candlestick, which means we could potentially be moving on up here. So that one's looking better. Blue Sky Uranium's got a lot of support, definitely here at 28 cents. So we're coming to the supports, and we're testing it. Centrus Energy, the support's a little lower here, but again, we could bounce around a little bit longer before heading higher. Just looking at the candlesticks. Kazatomprom looks like it could wiggle a little bit longer before heading higher. It's got the wiggles. Mr. Wiggles here. This is International Consolidated Uranium. And all I'm doing is I'm scanning across. I'm scanning across looking for where the support's at. And there's a lot of support in this region. See how we hit it a bunch here, we hit it a bunch here, we hit it there, we hit it there again, we popped up. Well, now we're using it as support. Resistance on the way up, support on the way down. So, I mean, this doesn't look bad in here. It looks like we're trying to find a bottom. I mean, sure, tomorrow we could sell off to 250, 240, or maybe we head on higher, but we've got support right here at 240, and we're testing that support. Paladin's finding a little bit of support too. We can see the contraction in the candlesticks. It looks like it's coming to a point. Now it's a matter of when the buyers are going to step in and push the stuff higher. Boss looks like it's got a little bit of selling pressure. 9% down day. The support's underneath it, 17, 18 cents, somewhere in that range. Peninsula's got a little bit of sell-off too, but it's contracting and kind of slowing the momentum down. So that doesn't look too bad. We got support in here, 18 cents-ish. So that's what we have for today. It does look like we're coming down and hitting that support, and we're finding that support. Let's keep the support on. Let's hold these things higher. Now, with the volume tapering off like it has been, All I'm doing now is waiting for the buyers to step in and give it a little bit of go juice. You know what I mean? You know, a little bit of gasoline, some go juice. Maybe we throw some nitrous in this thing and we rocket higher. It could be at any point. We could also still see this sell off on some of them and give you like a wick at the bottom, which I consider to be like a good buying opportunity. When you see something sell off during the day, it comes on down and then you watch it and it starts coming back on up. It's like fire it off, you know, add a little bit, cost average in a little bit, and that's kind of what I like to do. But I think we're slowing down. We're seeing the volatilities basically contract, and we're starting to equal the buyers and the sellers. So buyers came in here, they bought a lot. We had some weak cabbage hands, they sold off. That's that weird volatile movements and the sharp contraction. But now we're coming to an equilibrium point where the buyers are starting to equal the sellers, the volume's tapering off, and there's no more sellers left. We're getting close. Is it going to happen tomorrow where we go on up? I'm not that good, guys. I can't tell you the exact days, but I think we're coming in and it's starting to relax. It may take a little bit more time. It might not. It all depends when the buyers want to come in and stomp on the throttle. And I don't know the exact timing of that, but I think we're close. We're within a week, I think. Between now and a week, I think we'll kind of relax out, and then you might start seeing more buying pressure. That's what I think. If you guys like this content, if you like these updates on a daily basis, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, share it with your friends, put it on Twitter or whatnot if you want to. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at @finding_finance. At @finding_finance. You can add me on Twitter there. I do post some things up there for updates. You know, I post charts and stuff on Twitter. So if you guys want to see that, definitely add me on Twitter. If you like the content, thumbs up. Thanks for listening. This is Finding Value.